Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yashar Barakatah to all my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba Shem Yahweh Priest and Officer Dawam Gabal coming to you live once again. This is the ISUPK Lashawan Qadash, the Hebrew alphabet, the holy tongue, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. For far too long, there's so much that have taken us further and further away from our identity, our heritage, who we are as a people, of course, though, with the alphabet, with the Hebrew class, with the language, of course, though, you know, we're here to teach our brothers and sisters, you know, and help them come back to the identity in which that we once had. You understand? We go out here and we start learning other languages. We go out here and we start following other customs and cultures, and as we do it, you know, it takes us so far away from us. You hear people talk about, you know, I got to get back to my true self. We're going further and further away from that. that identity as a nation, as Israel, of course, though. Yashar Allah in the Hebrew, of course, though. And that's the one thing, you know, to understand, of course, though. It's the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The nation, of course. And then there's the other nations that are talked about and mentioned throughout the Bible, specifically, you know, in the beginning of the Bible, of course, though, so that we know exactly who they are. You hear about Moab, you hear about Ammon, you hear about Amalek, you hear about Ishmael, so on and so forth, of course, though. And the reasons why they have been mentioned is so that we can identify not just who they are, but more specifically the differences that we are set apart. We are the prince of the power. You understand? Like, we are the special people of the Most High, chosen of all the nations. You understand? You know, you have Moab and you have Ammon, of course, though. You have Elam. They got what they got, of course, though. Their blessings, they have it the way they have it, of course, though. But for us, you understand? We were identified as that chosen people. And now we have to step into it, as they would say. Step into, you know what I'm saying, what they say, manhood. Step into, you know, womanhood. Step into, you know, that role that you've been waiting for, of course, though, that position. Well, coming back to who we are as a people. When we greet each other, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakatah. Or if it's a group, Barakathum, right? To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Alathan, that's a group, versus Alatha, which is singular. All right? By Hashem Yahushai. Those are the ways that we would greet each other, of course, though. And it's not, you know, there's no ill intent to it. Nowadays, you know what I'm saying, we greet one another, we sizing each other up. So, you know, for us to get back, you know what I'm saying, and start to understand with for us to get back and learn, you know, hey, listen, I'm from the tribe of Manasseh, right? I'm from the tribe of Ephraim. I'm from the tribe of Zebulun. Like, we need to know these things. I'm Asher. You know, Ashar Gapun, you know what I'm saying, he put out a calendar, you know what I'm saying, which is great, of course, though. You know, one of the classics, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I say classics, you can see the images and everything else, though. But to start with the class, we go over the alphabet. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I was trying to, you know, test it out a little bit. Y'all should not have an issue, but let's go ahead and put it up on the board. In this case, we're going to put it on the screen. All right? If you have not gotten the Hebrew alphabet, reach out. You know what I'm saying? Send an email to ISUPK Syracuse at gmail.com. We will make sure that you get that information. But here it is on the board or screen. This is the Lashawan Qadash of the Israelite School University of Practical Knowledge. The Lashawan Qadash. As you can see, this is the entire alphabet, of course, though. The image may be a little, not necessarily blurred, but it may not be the greatest picture, of course, though. That's because, you know what I'm saying, those of you who will try to copy this, you know, instead of coming to the source and getting it from us, you ain't gonna be able to do that. All right. So reach out to us so that you can get the actual, the actual image, the actual document, and we'll go from there. So what I want you to do is the same way that I'm about to do it on the board. I'm going to switch back and forth, but I want you to practice writing down the alphabet. Practice writing down the alphabet. That first character is the A, and that's the biggest thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's part of teaching the class, though. You can't necessarily skip ahead without knowing. That's the A, that first character. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I will show it to you on the board. All right? Put it up here on the board. So on the board, if you are looking, this first character right here, this is the A. All right? This is the A. And as you know, in the Hebrew, it goes from right to left. In the Hebrew, the Paleo, the ancient Hebrew, of course, though, it goes from right to left. So you see the A. Of course, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ka, La. All right. So what I've done so far is I've written on the board the A, the Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ka, and La. All right, that is in the Hebrew, of course, though. So when you look at the screen that I just had up, you should be able to know. Oh, okay, that's what we were looking at. All right. The second piece. This is where I'm going to write it on the board in the English, right? As they say, the ABC, the A, Ba, Ga, Da, the Ha, Wa, Za. That seems a little on the light side, does it? Yeah, it does. Salaki. All right. So on the board, what we have here, from the right to the left, it's the A, the Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ka, and La. That is the alphabet. If you are struggling seeing it, what I want you to do is use this image right here to also kind of follow through. Once again, this is the A. That first character on the right of the top row is the A, which is A-H, A-H, Ba, B-A, Ga, D-A, G-A, the Da, which is D-A. No, it does not stand for district attorney. Ha, which is H-A. Wa, Za, Ka. If you are not following along and you don't know where we are at the symbol that looks like a ladder. Or the character that looks like the ladder, or in the English, that looks like, that comes after the character that looks like a Z, right? So, Za, Ka, and then we have the Ta, which looks like a circle with a X in it, Ka and La. So, you should write it down like that. Practice. Now, what I want to throw in here right now, because what we're going to do, we're doing all the Hebrew. All the Hebrew. The Hebrew includes both the Paleo, or the ancient, right? And it also includes the Assyrian. This is what we commonly see in books and texts, things of that nature. When you, if you were to use an app or something like that, most of the time you see the Hebrew writing, the characters, they're going to look like this right here. Oh snap, Slaggy. I just realized that something was a little off. Something was off when I got to the top. This is twice now. Apparently I don't like the yacht. I don't like the yacht. So yeah. had this written down. If you didn't. Alright, so the Yah, the only reason why I was like, wait, something's missing. That which was missing, Yah. Alright, so we have on the board, we have a top, which is the ancient or the Assyrian. We have the English or the ABC. We have the printed, or we have what you would call the Assyrian. Now, so also note this character right here. I believe it is the 10th character of the alphabet. This character right here has a ending. The ending in which it goes from the ka, which is kind of rounded more so, and I don't know if I think I can tell the difference between like the na, right? Or is it too close? Like, all right. The ending in which that is like, it's almost like saying da, but it has the elongated portion right here, the da. All right. So if you saw this, whatever you were reading or looking at, of course, you should know that this is ha. It is at the Alright, so what I just wrote here says this, use at end of word. So this character here is used at end of word for when you're writing ka. Alright? Give you guys just a few moments to write that down. Then I'm going to give you the last portion of the alphabet. From time to time, I will show you the Lashawan Qadash. I will have that sheet so that I'll post it on the screen so that you can see it. If you do not have it, send an email to ISUPK at Syracuse at ISUPK at gmail.com. All right. And what I'm referring to this right here. All right, so what I am referring to is the rest of the alphabet right here. This is the ma, na, sa, I, pa, tza, qua, ra, sha, and tha. All right. You should have that written down or working on it. Slaggy. I just was looking at the way Manasa is back to back, but it's not the same as Manasseh, which is Manasha. So. All right. So as you are looking at this, ma, na, sa, I, pa, tza, qua, ra, sha, and tha. Don't worry, we got plenty of time, you know what I'm saying, to come back and look at this later. But all right. So, looking at the rest of the characters of the alphabet, this is the Paleo or the Ancient, the English or the ABC. This is the Assyrian or the Printed, as you would kind of say. These ones up top are all characters that you would see in the word. So, if we were to do Shabbat, right, which is for Sabbath, or if we were to do Ahab, which is to love, you would see characters as such. All right. You see characters as such. Like, this is Ahab. But now, looking here, You see two characters for the ma, you see two characters for the na. Same thing for the pa and the za. So this is essentially almost the same as the ma that you would write for like quad, right? However, when you're at the end of a word, it is fully enclosed. There is a space here to indicate that it's a M, but it's used throughout the words. This ma is used at the end of the word. So if you were to do like quam, right? Like quam. So boom. Alright. Slack it. That's more like a sa, but quam, right? You would use this ma, which is at the end. Quam. In the ABC. Right here. So quam. Like quam yasha'ala. Rise Israel. Get up Israel. Raise up Israel. So this ma is used at the end of the word versus if you were to say something such as that's mataza, right? Mataza, which is to find, So as you can see here, the ma that we use, it's at the beginning of the word. It's not at the end. The taza that we use here is in the middle of the word. It's not at the end. So we did not use this taza right here. So taza. And of course, if we saw this in the paleo, I'm going to write it right here. There's enough space, right? All right, so when you look at it, you have the ma, you have the taza, you have the a connected. The H or the A drops off at the end, so it's mataza, not mataza ha, which is to find, All right. Sluggy.
Put the ha at the end.
La the sluggy right here.
Mataza. You saying the A drops off at H?
No.
Or you saying that's the I?
Right. So like,
okay.
It could be written. Oh, kind of sluggy. So it could be written like Taza, right? But we don't necessarily need to have all the ahs in there, just like when we write certain words with like Ka'aratza, which would be like so you have all those A's in there, of course, though you don't just we can shorten it. And that's the same thing with this. Shorten it. So Slakia, when I spoke, I stated that the A drops off at the end as if it's the ha, but it's actually the taza. The A just shortens. All right. So that's one of the distinctions between these endings. All right. So always try to show a couple of precepts or even, examples in which that we write it down, of course, though. We can also look it up. We can look up the precepts, that have corresponding characters, of course. And then we can see these specifically. One of the things that typically use will use the whatever we're going over for the Sabbath. As you can see here, 2 Kings 6 and 10. You can see a lot of that throughout that though. So same thing with the na. As we look here, we have the na, and then we have the extended, which looks like the wa, but it's extended. This is used at the end of a word. The sa, the I, the pa at the end of the word. The taza at the end of the word. Qua, ra, sha, and tha. Alright, so just want you to take a moment to look at that as it looks on the alphabet chart. So y'all can see that there in the alphabet. We'll try to get through at least half, if not all, of Israel. All right. Alright, so as we look here on the board, this right here, a lot of brothers and sisters, you may recognize it, of course. Let's see. So one of the first things that we should do, all right, one of the first things that we should do, if anything, is make the attempt. We should make the attempt of doing the translation, which would be starting with doing something as simple as, and y'all probably can't see it, but this character here, you know that's the Ya, right? You know that this character is the Ha. You know that this is the Wa. You know that's the Da, that's the Ha. So Ya, Ha, Wa, Da. Now, this lets us know that it's connected, which means we write this in the English, it is going to come out to be Yahweh. Yahweh. You can take a moment and you can look it up into do the translations from this right here into the Assyrian. If we did the Assyrian translation, it's likely that is incorrect. Just felt like throwing the I up there. Seeing if y'all was paying attention. That's the Ya. It's the Ha. It's the Wa. That's the Da. That's the Ha. All right. So, what can we do? All right. Now, Genesis chapter 49, right, verse 9. This talks about we could read a whole lot, especially Genesis 49 though. See here. Judah. This is given us. We are Genesis chapter 49. All right. We start at verse 1. Jacob, his children. Genesis 49, verse 9. If you're looking, based upon what we put on the board, Genesis 49, you should know right here, this is Yahweh, Judah. Boom, right there. First thing in here. Because in the English, when we read it, of course, though it says Judah is a lion's whelp. pray, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as old, it's like as an old lion, who shall rise him up? Rise him up. So Yahweh, this is the translation. And of course, they would pronounce this as Yehuda, but it's not Yehuda. That is the Assyrian. That is the bastardized version of, our language that was taken by another nation and try to push back out onto us. But it's Yahweh that is connected. Therefore, that H drops off at the end, and it's Yahweh. All right. Genesis 49:9. Just giving a brief description of Judah, the tribe of Judah, and as you can see, what does it say? The fourth son. We're gonna get these ones too. You see Simon, you see Levi. That's all there. Genesis chapter 49 chapter gives us all of, our brothers. So as we read, we should be able to look at this though, saying, oh, that's Ga, Wa, and what? Da, right? You should see this as the A, Ra, Ya, and Ha. You should see that as Ya, Ha, Wa, Da, and the Ha. You should see this as in Mata, Ra, and that's the Pa. So Matarap, Badaya, Alayah, it's like Alayath. Kara'ai, Rabatazah, Ka'ara, Yaha, Wabala, it's like Wakal, Baya'a, Maya, Wakwa, Yam, Nawa. Believe. That's the Nawa, like Nawa, but we have to also understand what sentence or structure this is being used as. So, this is Yahweh. See that? Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. So, this is the tribe of tribe of Judah. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know what I'm saying? Look to Judah, of course, though. Which is Tawab. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright. at this, we read it. First thing first, write it down. Give space above. All right. So, what we have here, we have the ba, the na, the ya, the ma, the ya, the na. We also have the connectors for each one. So, write this down. Bond. Alright, that's the first. I just want to boom. Bond. Then we're going to do this one. Yaman. This is Ban Yam Yam. Ban Yam Yam. Right? That's Benjamin. All right. Small side for you. So, now I also noticed there we go.
This is Benjamin.
Bon Yam Yam. All right, so Genesis 49, verse 27. Right? Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Benjamin, man. Benjamin's an early riser, right? Benjamin gets up, goes out, do that work, of course, though. And he shares what he have amongst his brethren. Right? They go out there, they do the hunting. They do that work. So, as we look here. There you go. That's it. It's right at the very beginning. Ban. Yum. Yum. So this ba. So here, this is a perfect example of what was bringing out earlier in the class. So when I showed you the alphabet chart, you were able to see the na, and you're able to see the na. This is the na, but they're different. This na is within the word. It is not at the end of the word as this na is here. And as we can see, it takes on that ending form. So, by yum, and we see the same thing here with the ma, it has that space, that gap in between, which lets us know that it's not the ma at the ending. This is not the end of the word. So, ban yum yum. All right. So, ban yum yum za'av, yatzarak, babakwar, Ya'akal, I'd, it's like it. Adab, it's like you know. I rob. The kalak, shalala. All right. So this is spoils, or is this? Yep, spoils. This is spoils. Shalala, shalala, spoil. All right. So for the nation of Israel, Benjamin is the number two. Number two. He was the second born.
That's how we list it.
Sluggy?
That's just how we list it. Salaki. That's just how we list it.
Kind of. Sluggy.
Benjamin was last born.
Right. Benjamin was last born. Simon and Levi. Simeon and Levi. Instruments of cruelty. Which is probably going to hit next, but
yeah. It's just how we list it because of the three Salaki are
the southern.
right.
Okay.
Northern.
All right. Benjamin. All right. Benjamin. just as we did before. Loya, Loya, at the connector. Boom. La, wa, ha. Alright, so write it down. La, wa, ha. Which is read. Alright. But, like this. So if we just do these breaking. So we have la, Loya. Ancient. Or it's like it in the Assyrian, this is what we see. Lama. Lawaya, Lawaya. Lock here. For these brothers right here though, what we'll do is we have Levi, but we also have Sha, Ma, I, Wa, Na. So what I did was I broke it down so that you get Shemai Wan, the connectors, the Ma and the I, the Sha, the Mai, the Wa, the Na, the I drops off. In this case, the I drops off. So Shemai and then Wan. So Shemai Wan. I'm still working on my Ys. Sometimes you see the Y kind of like. It's also Genesis chapter 49, right? Genesis chapter 49. We have Genesis chapter 49. We have Shemaiwan and Levi, right? So Shemaiwan and Loya. You may be wondering to yourself, that's Walaya, Waloya. That's because this Wa at the front, when you're reading this, it's Simeon and Levi. So it's given a description of Levi, the so-called Haitians, Simeon, which is the so-called Dominicans. I was being told about something by somebody else. I don't know if it's today or yesterday, one of these days, and it was just like, man, you know, Simeon, Levi, they are definitely, I'm saying, brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. If you know anything about the Haitians, Dominicans, they both practice a type of witchcraft, right? What you got? Voodoo and is it hoodoo? I think it is voodoo and hoodoo. That they do practice, of course, though, and they're on an aisle right next to one another, right next to one another. That is solid Bible. That's scripture. So Simeon and Levi. So as we can look at that, you see the Shah, the Ma, I, the Wa, and then of course that's the Na. And if you look, there is that. It's not difficult to tell the difference between the Na, Shemaiwan, and which is the Wa, Loya, Wa Loya. So that right there is Akim. Get it? The A, Yum, Akim. When we say, you know, when you get a salute, you hear it say, rock the, to an individual. To a group, a thumb. You see the same thing here. It could be ak or ak yum. Plural. So Simeon and Levi are brethren. They're brothers, brethren. So much so that they are right next to one another. This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. So, Akim, Kalaya, Kamama, oh, sorry, Kamasai, right? Makara, Thai, Yaham, habitations, right? Their habitations, and that's what that is. And we can look up the roots, of course, though, to understand it, but to give you clarity, even on this right here. There you go. Let's look at it. Boom. You see this? You should read the scripture. You see Wa, Loya. This is from the root, which is Levi, H3878. Click on it. It is from Loya. So Levi, Loya, he's one of the sons of Jacob's. Alright. So bear with me for just a moment. So that's both Simeon and Levi. Oh, these are Dominicans, Haitians. You look on the map, of course. So when we look at the Dominican Republic and Haiti, there you go. You have Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, Port-au-Prince, and Haiti. And look who's not too far off in the background. Look at that. Manasha. Cuba. The Cubans. Right there. These are our brothers, these are our sisters though. The Dominican Republic and Haiti, they are on the same aisle. They are right next to each other. They have the this is them two. They are joint. They're joint towards one another. See that? It's a lot. But anyways, Dominican Republic, you know what I'm saying, and Haiti, they are brethren. They are right next to one
Who?
Slide. That's what we have right there. Za, ba, la, wa, na, Zabila, Zabalawa. Balawan. See the connectors. Read it in Hebrew. Good, that was right. Genesis chapter 49. Genesis 49, verse 13. Oh, Salaki. obviously I spelled it right, but I wrote it wrong. No, I wrote it wrong and spelled it wrong. So like, this should be. So, Zabalawan, so Zaba, Walan, Zabalawan. Like, yeah, I just got caught up with writing the Y and the Na right next to each other. So, Zabalawan. Zebulon, or Zabalawan. So, describe Zebulon. It said, Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto the Zidon. So, Zebulon, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily, I don't want to sit there and be like, Zebulon was pirates, but they would probably look at us like, oh yeah, they were pirates. So when you read this, of course, though, Genesis 49, verse 13, Zabalawan, Lakawap. There he goes. You see the Ma and the Ma. So Yamayam, right? So Yamayam. So that's like the sea, but that has the open Ma, that has the closed Ma. Yamayam, Yashakan, Waha Wa'a, Lakawa, Ana Yawath. So that's like ships, and right. So and his border. So Wayara Kathwa, Wayara Kathwa. So that Waya Kathra, if we click on this, it takes us to the root word, so we can see Yaraka. Let's look at the Yaraka real quick. Is that border? Yep, parts. So flank side, extreme part, recess, sides, recess, extreme parts, recess. As we read it here, translations in the file manner, side, coast, parts, border. So it is used as border in this context. All right. So Al Taza Yada Yadan Sa. Alright. Alright. So So yeah, sloggy on that one. Definitely, you know, I did miswrite that one. I just got so caught up with the why versus the why. If you, I don't want to sit there and be like, it's not that distinctive. I wouldn't say it's that distinctive though, but there's the when you look at this, it's kind of more like the top portion to the ha, and then connected to the wa. So then of course just the wa itself, just like that. So the wa, the na. That's all. So when I saw I was writing the Zabala one, I just went up there and just went for that. And Shemai one. That's where I quoted from. That's where I was really still in mindset at the moment. Zebulon. All right. Zebulon, tribe of Israel. So. You know, it's amazing though, because I was talking to the sister earlier today, right at my slave. And I was talking to her. I was like, hey, sis, where you from? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, Espanol? Espanol? I looked at her. I ain't want to give her the little bit of Spanish I knew though, but I knew the moment I did that, she was gonna be like, bah, 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 bah. So I just kind of kept it with my English for the most part, right? Eventually, came to the point where I was like, "Lo siento, hablo español un poquito." Boom, that was it. Everything after that was just non-stop Spanish. I was like, "Un momento, hablo español." She was like, entiende. I was like, no, I understand very little. So, and I was like, sis, where you from? She would go, you know, I'm from a rich port. I was like, oh, no sweat. So, you know, you are one of our Ephraimite sisters, man. Ephraimite, which is a paria. Right? A paria. So when we look at this, same thing. It's just going to be the ah, the pa, ra. Oh, it's lucky. I didn't do the connector. So, yeah, the ma. As we look at this, you can just write it down as see, my Spanish is horrible, right? I'm like, I always be like, I say something crazy, something simple, like, get to, I always say something stupid like, okay, nombre, right? I'm saying like, what's your name? But my intention is to say is like, what's your number? Or so they be like, because I don't say numero, you know what I'm saying, very good. So they were like, numero or telefono, okay? Oh, it's like the languages, man, start going off the deep end, saying wrong language. Party. So, here we go. Ariam. Ariam. So if you look here, Ephraim. So Wa'ath, Sham, Hashanayah, Hara'ah, Pariam, Kaya, Hapa, Ranayah, Alahayam, Bana, Tazah. That's the Tazah at the end of the word. Ainayah. So my affliction. This is my affliction. Ainayah. Right? So, and fruitful. So Lakia. There you go. Fruitful. To give you that specific. I'm not sure if it's para, but bear fruit, fruitful. Okay, it makes sense. So, para. It's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like, without the more and more, you know what I'm saying, you go through this, go through the Bible, you start identifying the words and the translations, even without having seen them before. You'll be able to say, you know, like, Sham, this is Sham. Right here, that's the name. Right? So, this right here is the count, numbers, Hebrew. Let's see. Have to do a little research and grasp that though. Is this not the one that was that? Yeah, 4152. Sham. Oh, here we go. Land. There you go. Shanaya. There you go. So even though, you know what I'm saying, we didn't necessarily get through all 12 all through 12, which is fine, because there were parts of it that did not cover that I meant to cover, because I wanted to kind of go through it all. But it's like, is it I-am or A-I-M? Ephraim.
Say it again.
Ephraim.
Ephraim.
I-am or A-I-M? I get that. It looks like it should be A-I-M. Slock it.
Yep, that's it.
So, Ephraim, you know what I'm saying? That's actually the second son. Be fruitful, right? Ephraim will be fruitful, of course, though.
A lot of times that translation, the Y,
Kind
the I. Like never Benjamin.
So, our brothers and our sisters, you know what I'm saying? We are scattered all abroad, of course, though. These are some of the tribes. So these are the so-called Puerto Ricans. Slagi. If I haven't did it for the other ones, these are the so-called Puerto Ricans. I did. I said Judah, which is black. I said Levi, which is the Haitians. I said Benjamin, which is the West Indian. I did not say that. Our West Indian brothers and sisters. Shemaiwan. Simeon. I said Simeon. Dominicans. Ephraim, which is Puerto Ricans. Oh. Zabalawan. Zabalawan is Panama or Guatemala? It's Guatemala to Panama. If you look on the map, you see Guatemala to Panama, of course, though, that are the Zabalawan, and then Parium, which is rich port, right? That is our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters who are still recovering from, you know what I'm saying, the hurricane, of course. And part of that, not just because, yes, we are the 12 tribes, but the U.S., they look at it as just a territory. It's just a territory. It's not even like considered to be like a state. More or less though, which is so wrong, you know what I'm saying, for our brothers and sisters who's given so much, and so much has been taken from. You see that, you know, Dominican Republic, you see that, you know, in Haiti, you see it over in Cuba, and we are given a bad title or label attached, you know what I'm saying, by, you know, those who oppress us, versus being glorified like we should. You understand? Like, we are a great and holy people, but to all the other nations, they look at us, you know what I'm saying, as scum of the earth. They look at us, you know what I'm saying, as spittle. They look at us, you know what I'm saying, as, you know, vagabonds. They look at us, you know what I'm saying, as leeches, whatever else though. When we, you know what I'm saying, we are Prince of the Power, Yasha Allah. Understand? That's who we are. 12 tribes. We've gone over the 6 today. We'll go over the next 6 next week, starting with Manasseh. The other piece that I should have did, of course, though, was, you know, give you like some of the specific things like the seal or the sigil, as you would say, and more so the meaning behind each name. I'll try to, you know, finish off the last 6 next week and include that into the lesson, of course, though, with a precept like I was doing with Genesis 49, so that you can see the descriptive of who we are. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Captain Azania.
Really good.
Okay, slide.
The ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Security Announcements. Okay, we are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the leadership of Commanding General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny and of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. All right. Now, also, we do have the Sabbath Sabbath service every Saturday at 12 p.m. noon. Here, the school, 864 South Avenue. That's also a holy convocation, so we recognize that as well. All right, we have the Feast of Purim coming up. Feast of Purim, which is Purim Salakia. We will have, it'll be dainties like cakes and pies. Okay, February 14th and 15th. All right, which we can read in the book of Esther. We're going to go and do the whole breakdown of it. Also, Passover, April 15th. Passover, April 15th. Cocoa Beach, Florida. Okay, the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, 53rd annual Passover. It is the Lord's Passover, the righteous Passover of the Most High. Okay, and get ready for that. Line everything up, hotels, the events, what have you. And for 7 days after, starting on the 16th, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Reminder, Akim and Aqua, check the bulletin board in the back. We have ours in the left-hand corner of the building, right-hand corner of the building, Slakia. Okay. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, black boots, black shirt, black pants, black headband, black scarf. Okay. And with that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. And of Israel, I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah.
Okay. Brothers, we want to salute the brothers. Okay. I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakatah. Okay. Salute the sisters. I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alafel Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. That's for the sisters online. If we had sisters in the class, we would ask the sisters to stand, okay, and do the salute, crossing the hand over, of course, one hand into the other, and their feet standing heel at a 45 degree. Okay, and with that, class dismissed.